Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been to my channel yet, and it's your first time, you should go watch all my other videos because they're interesting. Probably. I don't know. I don't tend to rewatch my videos. I just wing it sometimes. But anyway, I'm Tatiana. And my channel is just kind of documenting my life struggles in life, advice on how I dealt with the situations, and yeah, just random stuff because I don't really know. I don't know where my headband went, but it's okay because my hair looks decent, I think, so we'll be okay. Anyways, before we even start with my daily, this is how I pick my topic for the day because I'm indecisive, and so yeah. Anyways, story time real quick. Yesterday I was driving to an AA meeting and it wasn't snowing bad when I left. Snow got heavier and I was driving, driving on the highway pretty good or whatever. And there was a car, in the lane or whatever, and he was stopped, or the car was stopped. Don't want to profile it. And hazard lights on, so everyone was going around, and I was like, okay, I'll just go around. And as I'm merging, our front tires don't have like a lot of good traction, I guess, and so I slid off the road into the snowbank, I guess, and snowbank, yeah, that thing, and I hit the guardrail with the front of the car. It was terrifying. Like, I had no idea what to do, and so I started crying and everything, but I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I've never been in a car crash while I've been driving or anything. I saw a cop drive past me and everything, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. So crying, hyperventilating, I called my best friend, sat there, talked to me. Finally, I had someone, or I don't know who it was, obviously, Good Samaritan, and he helped me get my car unstuck, and I went to my AA meeting, stayed in Olathe because I didn't want to drive home or anything like that. And so yeah, that was my story time for the day. Yeah. Other than that, my week is fine. It's interesting, but it's not interesting. But anyways, my daily life is kind of crazy. But let's pick our topic. Let's see. Oh, jeez, I'm talking. Okay. Just to let you know, if I don't want to talk about it, I will redraw. What I wish people knew / understood about foster care. This is a good topic, actually, because I'm going through a situation with this right now. That's there's a lot on that. Man, I was like, how do I start? That not, just because you're in foster care doesn't mean you're a bad kid. I feel like when an outsider learns that you're in foster care, they automatically, assume, you have that stereotypical, you have a stereotype of, oh, you're in foster care, so you're a bad kid, and, because you do have, limited, you have limited access to things or whatever, and so a lot of people do assume, you're a bad kid or something from it, or they're extremely judgmental, that's the word, about the situation, which is, that is one of the worst things. When I was in foster care, I try to be so discreet about that I was in foster care for the longest time, because I don't want to say I was embarrassed, but I was embarrassed because, you see all these people, they get to go home, and it's, sometimes you didn't, if you're in respite care, which is, a day-to-day night or night-to-night thing, you didn't know where you were going to sleep. If you didn't have a placement, you didn't know where you were going to sleep that night, and it's I'm not going to lie, it's scary. I think with foster care, you have to grow up a lot faster, for sure. I think, I think one thing, is a lot of work, sorry, let me drink my grape Kool-Aid. I think a lot of people, sometimes, they don't live in the foster system itself. I'm about to talk about the system, and then I'll talk about, the outsiders as well, I guess. That's how I'll do it. I don't know. Anyways, I feel in the foster system, a lot of people don't listen to you because you're a kid. It's always, well, you're a kid. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a kid. You don't know what you're talking about kind of situation. I know what's best for me at the end of the day. I don't care how old I am. sometimes, you know, like, people do have your best interest, but it's not always, like, the best thing for you at the end of the day. Like, you, personally, you know your body, you know, like, you know yourself the best. Like, nobody can know you better than yourself. And that's one thing that I've always struggled with, like, being in foster care. Like, if you need help, you need help. If something's not working out, it's not working out. You know, like, if you don't feel like a placement's gonna work out or a foster home's gonna work out, like, yes, there's very rare, or, like, there's very few placements right now. Understandable. But if you don't feel like something's gonna work out, like, one, either try to make it work as much as you can, because it sucks being in respite. I promise you, I've been bounced around for 2 months without a placement. For 2 months, like, that was hard. You know, because I didn't want to be where I was at. But, you know, like, but don't disrupt on the placement because you don't want to be there. Like, that's what prevents you from going into a placement or a good placement that you want to be in, is disrupting, or, like, acting out to where you get kicked out, I guess. Or that's what disruption is. No, people didn't know. Sorry. Anyways, you know, like, that's what a disruption is, because a lot of, like, before anyone meets you, they get this little email, you know, and it has all this stuff. Like, they get your whole background, they get everything about you on paper. Not everybody, you're not the same person as you are in that piece of paper. That paper doesn't define the person that you are. That defines where you've been, who you were, what you've been through, and how. But that's all, a lot of the time, that's all they see. And so a lot of people get denied placements because people are like, oh, like, I can't deal with that right now, or, like, my makeup's in my eye or something, I don't know, my eyelash. You know, like, they're like, I don't want to deal with that, like, I don't have time for that situation, you know, or, like, what if they do that in my house, yada yada yada. And it's like, you started foster care for a reason, you know, like, you wanted to help these kids. You shouldn't pick and choose, you know. Like, I understand if it's like you only want to do a certain age group, but all foster kids have issues. Everybody has issues, you know, some have more than others. And that's where, like, the struggle is with not being placed in places, is because a lot of us look bad on paper, but you're not what's on that piece of paper. And you know, if you are in foster care, like, they have a piece of paper that says who you were. That's not who you are. Do not let them define you by that piece of paper, because that's not who you are. You know, that says some stuff that you've been, or that you've been through, and how you handled it. You may not have handled it in the best way. I didn't. I was like, I tried to kill myself, you know. I used drugs, alcohol. I used to struggle with self-harm and self-esteem, you know, like, I had a lot of issues. I ran away. But that's me on paper. The person I am today is not that person. I graduated at 16 years old. You know, you look on a piece of paper, that's not who I am. You know, I just look like this defiant, belligerent teenager who doesn't want to listen, who doesn't want to, you know, who doesn't want to do anything that anyone else wants to say. I mean, I do have authority issues. I don't like the word no. You know, but at the end of the day, like, I'm not what's on that piece of paper. A piece of paper does not define who I am. That defines where I've been. So don't let a piece of paper define you. Don't let it hold you back from being who you really are. So, yeah, I think that's really, like, you know, like, the biggest thing I wish people knew is, like, don't, like, you may read someone's record, but don't judge them for that, because that's not who they are. So, yeah, until next video, guys. Love y'all.